This is a good argument because it's just got one premise and one conclusion. And what's the flaw here? Correlation, causation. What is the correlation between? Sleep and illness. Right? Sleep and illness is correlated. That's a little bizarre, but okay, there's correlated. Therefore, what?
Not sleep healthy.
Yeah, sleep causes illness, or the lack of sleep causes health, right? So sleep causes illness, right? All right. Claire?
Yes.
You all right?
Yes.
Oh, hey, look, you had a question. Okay. So what are the two alternative explanations here? This is classic. If you go from correlation to a causal conclusion, and they say A causes B, yeah, Kaylee?
The illness causes you to sleep more, or
Yep.
something else causes both of those things to happen.
That's exactly right. That's the most common way to attack this argument, is to say, okay, just because these two things are correlated doesn't mean that S causes I. Maybe I causes S, or maybe X causes S and I. Sound good? So when you see this and then it's a flaw question, I would go into the answer choices looking for those two explanations. A third one, which is not as common, but it is a possibility, is that the study that found the correlation was flawed. Like unrepresentative or something like that, right? It's kind of interesting though, they studied 1 million people. So unless they decided to go to like, New York or something like that, it would probably be representative. Anyways, answer choice A says fails to address the possibility that an observed correlation, which we saw a correlation between these two things, is due to another factor that causally contributes to both phenomena. In other words, maybe X causes both. That is a problem because they failed to consider that possibility. Sounds pretty good. Did we pick this one? No? Okay. All right. Answer choice B. What's the first clue that B is wrong? When can you stop reading B? What'd you say, Claire?
I said you already read A.
No, you can't do that.
Saving time.
I wouldn't do that.
I did that
Don't do
too.
that.
Okay. You said that you seem so serious. Yeah, I mean, I still read the remaining answers just to make sure that there wasn't another answer choice like, oh, maybe these are flipped, and then you go back to A and you're like, oops, I misread it. They put in some word that makes it wrong. But did you read the rest, Claire?
I think I read like a few. I don't know that.
I'll be honest, I did.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Huh. I would suggest reading all of them, but
Yeah.
you don't have
I mean,
to.
I'm not saying that was
You don't
my
have to
thing do,
read
but-
all of the remaining. You don't have to. You have to read all 4 remaining answers. I would,
All of them.
but you don't have to read the entire answer. So answer choice B, I would stop as soon as it says what? Yes. Even if a given factor causally contributes, you're like, wait a sec. That was the conclusion, not the premise. So this is out. Does that make sense? You would have to go from the correlation. You'd have to say something fails to consider that even if two phenomenon are associated with each other, they might not, one might not cause the other, or something like that. All right. Answer choice C. What's the first clue that you can stop reading? Concludes is super fast. Concludes. Nope, that's... Can't do that.
Well, sufficient, when they said that.
Yes.
But,
There is no what in this argument.
if then.
There's no if then.
Yeah.
So you can't say that there was a condition that is sufficient. Out. D. What makes D wrong?
Well, it's talking about the phenomenons contributing to each other.
Okay. It says it takes for granted that there will be an observable correlation between two phenomena. Did we have that? Then it says if they causally contribute to each other. It needs to be flipped around. It would need to be if there's an observed correlation, then they causally contribute to each other or something like that. Then you could start talking about what happened here, but They flipped this around, right? They went from conclusion to premise rather than from premise to conclusion. Okay, answer choice E. First clue, this is wrong. Not associated. Cool with that? They were associated, they were not associated. So this is not describing what happened, this is out. What answer was most tempting? B? E? Are you cool with E?
I mean, like, now I get it, but I don't know. I just.
Do you remember the two questions you have to ask yourself in a flawed question?
What's wrong with it?
Did this happen? Is it
Yeah, okay, initially,
But-
yes. What's wrong with the argument? But once you're going, I'm sorry, once you're going through the answers,
Is this actually happening?
is this happening?
No.
No. Is this a problem? Those are the two questions. And you have to say yes to both of them. So here, when it says fails to consider that even if a specific negative consequence is not associated, I'm like, wait, what?
Right.
Even if it's not associated? It would be associated.
Yeah, I think I
basically.
was just thinking too much, and I was like, oh, well, yeah, like, if sleep, like, not sleeping enough isn't, like, I don't know, it's just like, oh, there could be other problems, but again, like, yeah, it's not talking about it, so.
Yeah.
I get it,
Okay. Any other questions on this?
Can you
Yeah.
go over the three, so I just wanna make sure that I got this written down correctly. So like the three, when you're looking at like a correlation causation question.
Yep.
So like here, it would be that illness is causing you to sleep more.
Oh, the alternative explanations.
Yeah.
Yes,
like
yes,
the other
that's right. So
problems that you could- or the
these
other-
two things are associated. There's some connection between them, at least in time. We don't know that one causes the other. They just happen at the same time. They're saying, oh, this one causes that one. So right away you want to think, maybe, yeah, I causes S. Maybe it's the other way around. Or,
The studies one.
yeah,
That's the other one you said,
that's the
right?
less
Yeah.
common one. So if you don't remember that one, it actually doesn't matter. But
Or both of them are doing
no,
something. Wait, what the, okay.
that's all right. So either they're flipped around, either I causes S, or something else
Okay.
causes both. And if something else causes both, that would explain why they're associated, but they don't necessarily have any causal relationship to each other. Okay, any other questions on that? All right. What is the causal verb in the conclusion? It all comes down to the verbs. That's what makes something either causal or associative. Bolsters. That is saying that this thing is having an effect on the other thing.